Hello and welcome to my latest video. This is a new technique for me, using centrifuge to fling paint out against the rim of the bowl. I'm actually placing it over a failed spirit stain experiment that I'd got a bit bored with sanding off because I got it wrong several times. I've speeded the video up for the first minute and a half or so because this is me trying out the techniques, getting used to how the paint moves. It was rather a thick acrylic paint, and so I watered it down, sometimes on the palette, or as you've just seen, sometimes by spraying water from a water bottle. I think on the whole, spraying the water from the water bottle was the most effective. If the paint was too thick, as you've just seen with that white, it really doesn't spread at all. But putting on more water really does help to loosen it and get it thrown across the bowl rim much more effectively and efficiently. The layers of paint have really helped to build up a texture in the finished piece as well. It didn't seem to matter that I'd got several coats of colour, and in fact when you see the close-ups you can see the evidence of them in the gaps between the pink and the black, and I think it helps to give the finish much more depth. After maybe 30-40 minutes of playing around with the different colours, different speeds, different thicknesses, I began to get much more of a feel for it. I think when I put this coat of white on at first I thought, well, that's definitely ruined it. But just adding more paint, loosening it up, putting water on, and as you can see it throws it out much more widely. So I decided it's about time to try to do something to get to a finished piece. So a bit of red paint, with the white still being wet, it went pink. And quite an interesting shade of pink, I thought. I'm not afraid to embrace my inner pinkness. I got to this stage and thought, yeah, I like the effect that's working there, but I want something to bring a bit more contrast. So slightly different technique, putting much less paint on with the lathe spinning, not at a high speed so it didn't get flung as far to the outer rim. And then I put more paint on and increased the speed. That's really one of the beauties of having a variable speed lathe. It gives you much more control. And what this actually did was allow the first lot of paint to be thrown just a centimetre or two out from the rim, because there wasn't so much of it and it was a bit thicker. And then as I built up the paint on the inner rim and increased the speed of the rotation, it threw thin lines out across to the edge of the bowl. And then I wanted to frame that inner part of the rim by colouring the outside of the rim with black. I think that really helped to frame the whole piece. It was important to keep a steady hand here because I wanted to keep a clear line where the black ended, and did not too bad a job of that. And here you can see with the lathe stop what I mean about the different lengths that the back paint was flung out to. A heat gun as well is another useful tool if you're going to do this kind of work. Really helps to speed up the drying of everything. And then just a simple matter of cutting out the inside. I think there's something nice about keeping some wood, just to show the material that it's made from. With this piece, as I said, it came from a failed spirit stain experiment. I actually ended up spraying the back of the bowl black because I hadn't sealed the wood in the first place, and the spirit stain had actually worked its way through onto the back of the bowl and didn't look very attractive. Then a case of careful sanding. I resorted to hand sanding near the rim just to make sure I didn't sand through any of the black, and then a good going over with a tack cloth to remove the dust, and then final finishing in the middle with some sanding sealer and then a bit of burnishing cream, and then spinning the lathe at quite a high speed to heat that up and get that moving. And that's my first centrifuge bowl. After that I did two more in quick succession. There'll be videos for those coming up. And here, as promised, some close-ups giving you an idea of what the bowl looks like. And I think you can see between the pink and the black, the blue and the white, giving that extra depth to the whole piece. Anyway, I hope you like it as much as I do. Thanks for watching.